Hey y'all, it's Grizz here at Windmill Farms in North Mississippi. Come join us on today's adventure about drying mushrooms, alright? So y'all come on and join with me today, alright? Hey y'all, welcome back here to Windmill Farms. If y'all seen my video the other day when it was snowing up here, you saw that I was collecting these wonderful oyster and lion's mane mushrooms here, and y'all can see that's a chunk of mushroom there. So are these. These are just gorgeous. Today we're going to take them. Only thing I've done so far is I washed off the oysters. Now don't wash your lion's mane ever. Take a paintbrush, a clean paintbrush, clean it up, cut dirt, parts of the bark, whatever you need to, out of the mushroom. But don't ever wash it. It's like a sponge. It will soak a bunch of stuff up, alright? On a side note, if you're ever in the woods, this does make a good application to put on a wound to soak up the blood. But then also, it also has antiviral and antibacterial properties to it. But that's on a different note. Today, we're going to cut these mushrooms up, and we're going to get them in our dehydrators, alright? Basically, all I did, if you know oyster mushrooms, they're all in one single, they come from a single head. And they grow off the side of a tree in shelves above them, okay? I basically tore them apart, and where the back half connected to the main stem, I cut that off. I washed out any dirt and debris and got as much off as I possibly could. Like, there's a little piece right there that really needs to come off of there. And there it goes. And just clean them up the best I could, because you don't want as much dirt, debris, anything like that in your stuff, all right? I already started on one. You can do this in any way you want to. I like, after I've cut the back off, I like to go straight across. And I like making just these little pieces like this. And the reason I like making this is because after I've dehydrated this actually rehydrates very well. Okay? Now, you've got to think about what I just said when you go to rehydrate. So you got to think about how you're doing this. Okay? And what you're going to use it, whether you're going to use it for a soup, whether you're going to use it for in a saute, what you're going to do with it, because the thinner you can make them, the quicker they're going to dry out, but also when they reconstitute, the less likely they're going to have a lot of taste to them. That's going to be the normal taste that you're used to getting from them. So I cut mine about a 1/4 inch thick at the most there, and that's how we're going to do that. We got a whole, I think it was 5 pounds. Had 5 pounds of the oysters, and we had a little over a pound of the lion's mane. We're giving you that information because when we get through drying them, we're going to weigh them again and tell you how much out of 8 pounds of mushrooms, oysters, and just a little over 1 pound of lion's mane, what you actually get, because you're getting all that water out of there, and so you're not going to get near as much in dried. Okay, but we're going to just sit here and cut these all the way across. Now what I'm doing on the back side, because oysters are bad to tear, is I'm putting my hand on that back side and kind of putting some pressure on it. And that's allowing me to hold that mushroom so that as my knife cuts, see how it tore that one gill off? You're not getting a lot torn off, okay? There we go. That's as simple as it is. Y'all see how it is? We're going to go ahead and cut up the rest of these right here. And then we're going to, after we get them cut up, then we're going to come back and show you put them on the dehydrator. And then we'll go from there, alright? Hey y'all, I got all the oysters cut up. I'm cutting up the lion's mane. If you notice on the inside, on this outside you got all these little like hair appendages. But on the inside, you just got thick, meaty, beautiful, oh God, gorgeous smelling mushroom, okay? All I'm doing right now is just basically cutting it like you would an onion, like you would a head of lettuce or something like that. We're just going to cut it into pieces like so. And then we're going to put that on the dehydrator, okay? So I cut them in one form, and then I'm coming back and I'm just cutting them nice and thin, and we're going to take those and we're going to put them on the dehydrator, okay? So y'all come on back when we get these done and join us as we get everything put in the dehydrator, all right? Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm just, now that I've got everything chopped up, I'm adding everything on the dehydrating rack. Now, if you notice what I'm doing, I actually will lay mine out. Yes, I'm one of them CDO type people that has to have everything in order. You can just kind of chunk this stuff on there, and as long as what you chunk on there is not sitting on top of one another, is all kind of basically the same size, you're good to go. You don't have to guarantee that it's, you know, kind of organized and everything else. That's just the way I do it, just because, well, I'm strange. I tell people that all the time, even though they don't believe me most of the time. I try to get as much as these frills. If you ever hear people talk about this as almost like playing with crab meat, that is very, very good description on how this feels. That's exactly what it feels like, crab meat. But all you gotta do is you just gotta get it on here one layer thick so that you can dehydrate it. We're going to get all of these on the racks, get them dehydrated tonight. I dehydrate my stuff very slow overnight and stuff. But y'all can come back tomorrow and we'll show y'all what this looks like when we get everything racked and dehydrated, alright? So y'all come back and join us for the last part of this, alright? Hey y'all, welcome back. It's the next day after we've dried our mushrooms overnight and through the part of the day today. The lion's mane that's over here, you can tell by the way that it just pops apart, that is dry. That's what we're looking for. See? Okay. So it's ready to go. I've got a bowl here. I've already set up the scale underneath it to see how much we actually get up, okay? So stick with me for a few seconds, come right back. I'm gonna put them in here and show you how much we got out of that little over a pound that we had yesterday, show you how much we have of dried, and then we're just gonna put them in our jars and we'll seal them up when we get a chance. So y'all come on back in just a few minutes. Well folks, 1 pound equivalent to 3.6 ounces is all that was left. That's how much water is in that, y'all. Alright, so y'all don't be discouraged when you, hold on, there's a few there. We're still at 3.6. So y'all don't be discouraged when you dehydrate that you don't get near as much out of what you put in there, okay? It's just mushrooms, well, anything, just how much weight you lose through water, okay? But basically what you do is you just take your mushrooms, put them in a clean jar, and just like anything else, it's just kind of you'll figure out a way to kind of pack this stuff after a while to get your most in there. Like right now I'm catching on that one and I'm getting irritated. We might actually have 2 jars of this, baby. Yep, that's all I'm putting in that jar. Alright. Y'all hear how crunchy it sounds. Yep, it's gonna fit in 2 jars, and that's gonna be it. Alrighty. Alright, that's it on that. Let's get started and see how much we have of that. What was the poundage yesterday on the
5?
5 pounds? We'll see how much out of 5 pounds of oyster mushrooms we have when we do that. Y'all come on back in a little bit when I get it filled up. Y'all, that was almost 5 pounds, and it's only 4 ounces of mushrooms. Alright, once again, not a whole lot of yield. We're probably going to be able to get it in 2 of these quart jars, so we're going to do like we did the other ones, doing the same thing. We're just going to be putting them in here, packing them in. So y'all come on back and see us when we get this done. Alright, y'all, that's it. We got 2 of the pints of the lion's mane, and then we got 3 quarts of the oysters. They're sealed up, they're good to go. We're going to put them in a dark area. You don't really want to put them off, you know, out on the counter. You always want to store, just like anything else that you can, you want to store it, you know, somewhere where it stays out of the heat and humidity of the kitchen, where it stays in the dark most of the time, that kind of stuff. So we got mushrooms to keep, different mushrooms that have different flavors, a few minutes out in the woods, a little bit of time cutting up, some time in the dehydrator overnight, and just a few minutes, and we've got this stuff canned up. And now we've got mushrooms plus the mushrooms back from the springtime in there in the pantry that we can either use, or if we know somebody needs some mushrooms for making a soup or whatever, goulash or whatever, we've got that. This is less money we got to spend somewhere else, okay? And trust me, this is a lot better for you than what you might get in the store. As we've seen with the recent recall from a certain big chain store of their lettuce. I'm just saying. I'm not going to say the name, but y'all all know who I'm talking about. So, y'all, a little bit of time on your part, big rewards and bountiful harvest comes from that, okay? So I'm going to tell y'all, as we always do, to have a blessed day. Man, y'all can tell we've had another blessed day with the harvest that we got here. And as always, be safe.